Hey, welcome to day 6 of Release and Align. So today we're getting right into our soulful goal setting process. So this is the part where we pull together what you mapped out yesterday and we start putting it into structure, into some really clear goals. So the difference between how I approach this process in comparison to a lot of other personal development trainers is I prefer to take a much more intuitive approach, which means that our goals are a little less specific and in a box, and we leave a little bit more room for flexibility, spontaneity, growth, and emotional considerations along the way. I find that this approach allows us to move with the tides and become less fixed in how we think things should be, because I believe that life has a plan for us and we really need to work with it rather than becoming too tunnel visioned and missing some incredible opportunities that could show up. So the first thing that we need to do in order to get moving today is to refer back to yesterday's activity. Once you have yesterday's work in front of you, what I would suggest that you do is you get another piece of paper, whether it's in your journal or just a blank sheet of paper, and start to write down any of the key words or common threads that you want to bring into your official goal statements. We're going to include feeling, which is really, really important. And then the second thing that we're going to do is go through the specific activities or actions or outcomes that you listed out and identify any key things that you want to move into being a goal. Are there any common threads that you could weave together into being a kind of bundled goal? Or is there anything really specific that stands out for you as a key to your happiness moving forward that you feel needs some extra emphasis and attention in the form of a goal? In order to create a really soulful goal, it's not that you can't have a specific deadline, you absolutely can. We're also going to bring more of these softer elements into it. And of course, if you don't have a fixed, specific, locked-in outcome that you're seeking, if it's more that you want to feel a certain way or you would like to behave a certain way in your daily life, then these more vague goals can also be really, really powerful, very motivating and super inspiring. So studies have shown that when we set goals and write them down, the way that you write them down is really key as well, because unfortunately a poorly written goal isn't going to necessarily inspire you or motivate you into action. In fact, it could lead to feeling overwhelmed, it could lead to feeling afraid, it could leave you feeling flat, and we don't want any of those feelings. We want you to feel motivated to move and take action and show up for your dreams and feel connected to them. So now what we're going to go through are some of the keys to making sure that your goal is on point. And one of them is to make sure that when you write it in the present tense as if it is already happening, as if it's your current reality. So instead of writing your goal down as if it's going to happen sometime out in the future, for example, to have your book written in 12 months, or to start going to yoga 3 times a week. Write it as if it is already happening. Create a mantra or an affirmation around that goal so that you can affirm it every single day and start to actually rewire your brain to believe that it's normal and it's absolutely happening for you. When you allow your mind to start to open up to new possibilities, you'll find that your brain actually starts to get to work on piecing together opportunities, situations, people, and experiences in your everyday life to align with that occurring. So by you affirming every single day that these goals are going to happen, that they are already happening, that this is an expected reality for you, you might find little things happen, like you overhear a conversation in the background and it's relevant to a goal that you're trying to achieve. And then boom, you go and speak to the people and something happens. Whereas if you aren't affirming that your goal is a reality on a daily basis, it's so easy for your goal to just slip out of your awareness and then be left for someday. What you're focusing on is everything when it comes to recognizing opportunities and being able to take inspired action consistently. So make sure that you're setting up your goals to be stated in the present tense. I am feeling this. The next thing is to make sure that your goals are stated in the positive. So rather than saying what you don't want, try saying what you do want. For example, if your goal was to quit a certain activity, instead of focusing on I'm going to quit doing this certain thing, you could state your goal like I'm going to live in this way instead, or I'm going to do this instead. And the reason why we want to do that is because if you're reading this goal over and over and over for the next year or however long it takes for you to achieve it, you're going to be repeatedly reminding yourself of whatever words are in that sentence. So it's much more powerful for you to be writing the words in there that you want to picture. For example, if your intention was to stop going on your phone and looking on social media first thing in the morning, then instead of saying that you want to stop going on social media, which would only flood your mind with the image of going on social media every single morning, you could say something about the new morning routine that you're creating, and that would remind you consistently that, okay, it's the morning, it's time to do that, that is what I do. The next thing is be specific but also flexible. So if there are key dates that are involved in your goal, then a deadline can be really, really powerful. But the thing that we don't want to do is set up this kind of pressure and box and all or nothing approach, where unless we get this thing by a certain day, we're going to be feeling like we've failed. So I want you to take all of the shoulds out of your goals and instead focus on how you want to feel, who you want to be, why it matters to you, and know that by you committing on a deep level to that inspired vision for your life, you don't need the pressure of a deadline necessarily. It's actually more about being consistent and showing up with integrity and full desire to actually make it happen, and in the right time it will happen. So being able to surrender and trust is very, very key, especially when it comes to super specific goals. So what we want to do is start building together one goal sentence at a time, one sentence for each goal, and it might take a few goes to string together the right combination of words in order for it to feel really deeply connected and inspiring for you. What we want is for it to feel energizing when you read it, for you to feel motivated to move forward, but also for it to be clear enough that you don't sit there going, it sounds good, but I don't really know what to do about that. We are going to get really thorough tomorrow with planning. So the key today is to flesh out the broader goals, and then tomorrow will be all about breaking them down into the nitty-gritty specifics. We can't ignore that part of it, that's absolutely a key. But today is about the inspiration and the vision. Alright, so this may take you a little while. You might need to set aside a bit more time today in order to write out your goal statements, but it is so worth it. Once you have them written down, the next challenge, which you might want to do sometime this week whenever it feels inspiring to you, is write them down somewhere where you can look at them every day. If you have a vision board, you could write them or print them out in a cool way and have them there so you can see them every day. If you want, you could put them on little post-it type notes and have them on your bathroom mirror or in your bedroom or wherever you want really. But having your goal affirmations in front of you every day so that you can actually see them is again going to help you to hone in, focus, and remember what you're working toward. So my last tip is less is more. If you can get away with having 3 or 5 goals, then you can really power up and focus on those specifically. The more goals that you have, the more overwhelming and blurry it's going to become. So keep it simple, keep it powerful and clear for yourself. I hope that you enjoy your goal setting process, and if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I'm happy to help, and I would love to hear how you go with it all. I'll see you tomorrow for our final lesson, day 7 of Release and Align. Sending you loads of love, and I'll see you soon. Bye.